Hello and welcome back to Floating Mill Park, where Melinda is doing her work camping gig. Today we're going to get an update on her job. Now this is her gig and not mine, since I still work a full-time job. So we'll see how the season has been going for her here at Floating Mill Park. As you will see, it is the end of the camping season here at Floating Mill Park. Labor Day is behind us, all the campers are gone. Fall is quickly approaching, and it's kind of sad seeing everybody gone, but it's also kind of nice here at the campground to be able to experience it without anybody here. But here's our little campsite. There's our 16-foot sunlight. We do pull with the Jeep Cherokee. We don't pull with the Transit. However, we could if we wanted to. It's got a higher pulling weight than our Cherokee does, but it's a beautiful little campsite. We got a nice view of Center Hill Lake, but we're way far back from the lake, but we still appreciate our little site. All right, now let's go check in on Melinda and ask her a few questions about her work camping job. All right, I gave everybody a little mini tour of everything, and now it's time to ask you a few questions. Do you have some free time?
Sure.
All right, now come on in. All right, so this is your work area. You got a nice little work area here. You know, it's air conditioned. You got a bathroom, very well lit.
Kind of behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to come in here.
So this is where people come. They approach the campground. They see you first, and then you give them directions.
Right. And their parking pass. I got to do the parking pass.
So tell us how you discovered this job.
It was Facebook.
Facebook?
I follow Center Hill Lake on Facebook, and she normally puts out the rangers will normally put out positions, the volunteer positions that are needed. Because I believe the rangers choose the volunteer people, and then if the job is contracted, that's a third party.
And honestly, I don't think there was a whole lot of competition out there.
Probably not. I mean, it's a volunteer spot.
Yes.
A Tuesday, Wednesday, no less. And I could have stayed here every day all summer long if I chose to, but
right.
We still have the house I have to maintain.
Yes.
So, and we had a lot going on this summer.
And why is it exactly did you decide to take this job?
Well, to get out of the house a couple of days a week.
Because she's retired now.
Yeah, he let me retire. So, but also to get a feel for work camping, because we want to find in the future when Scotty's done, we want to find a place that we want to explore. But if we want to make a little money, or just in exchange for a site, stay in a campground and do a little work at the campground.
So while you're not working, you are helping us build a resume and getting a good feel of what it's like to do some of these work camping jobs. So since you are getting the experience, it will help us get jobs later on down the road.
I hope so, because it's not just something. Well, I mean, I just jumped into this. I got it. It was fairly easy, and Tennessee Corps of Engineers is always looking for volunteers. We've been shorthanded all summer, so it's a good opportunity for a place to stay if you're full time in your rig.
Yeah, it's a great deal for anybody that's full time in their rig. So tell us briefly. Tell us some of your responsibilities.
So I come in, like my Tuesday, Wednesdays is 11 to 5. Just 6 hours, 12 hours a week, 6 hours a day. I come in, I'll open the booth at 11. I print out my paperwork, who's supposed to be on site. I'll walk the campground, make sure everybody's where they should be, check in people that I didn't get checked in the day before. And then I just man the booth, walk the campground another time or two for the day.
Making sure that nobody's in here that shouldn't be in here.
And this is not a gated campground, so it does happen. People come in that shouldn't be in here.
And did you have any kind of experience prior to taking this job?
Just camping.
Just camping. And I think that helps a lot because people have to make their own reservations.
A big plus was recreation.gov is where everybody has to go to make their reservations. We don't do them here, but I was very familiar with recreation.gov because I have the account set up because that's where we make there's a lot of, not just core campgrounds, but a lot of campgrounds that use recreation.gov.
So you're already familiar with the software?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it made it easier in here.
So you work 12 hours a week?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you get in return?
A full hookup campsite. It's so nice. I mean, we've shown you pictures. We're going to show you some more in here.
I got video.
Yeah,
already.
got some video.
It's a great campsite, and it's a wonderful
Mm-hmm.
deal for
Mm-hmm.
anybody who is full-time.
Mm-hmm.
And however, we got to go home to take care of our home, so we can't spend as much time here as we'd love
Right.
to.
Now, I am just a park attendant. There is a camp host, and now he does Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in exchange for his site. So he has a few more responsibilities than me. He's got a few more options over here that he can do that I can't. But it's just a weekday for me. It's a little easier, a little easier to do. Of course, I try to stay busy. I keep my campsite clean. If I'm walking the campground, see garbage, I pick up the garbage. You know.
If you see something wrong, you turn it over to the maintenance people.
Yeah, you stay in contact with your rangers and maintenance.
Yeah, if you see somebody misbehaving,
Mm-hmm.
contact the rangers. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we'll continue the rest of this interview outside where we have a little more beauty to see.
Yeah. Of course, I have a pretty good view out the window.
You do,
but,
yeah. But it was important. I wanted them to see your workspace.
Mm-hmm.
You spent a lot of time in here, and I just felt like it's important for them to see
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So how long is the season here at Floating Mill Campground?
Let's see, they let us check in, let us come in the first week in April. I think the actual camping season started April 15th, and November 5th is the end of the season.
It's a pretty long season.
It is.
And we're coming to an end, aren't we?
We are. Mine especially. I'm having to leave. Go right here, please. I'm having to leave just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so you can go do the beet harvest. So we'll have some more YouTube content, which by the way is another reason for you doing this camp hosting
and
gig.
I kind of failed at it this year, but this whole work camp thing was brand new. Y'all, I've been through a roller coaster of emotions in this job, but we'll get into that later. I'm telling you.
The job is not that difficult
It's not,
to pick up, but
it's not. But there's
it's a challenge.
situations. It's
Yeah.
the situations that come up as a camp host, even on the weekdays.
So what are some of the most common problems that you have to face day to day here at the campground?
I wouldn't really call it a problem, but they've gone to just online reservations.
Right.
That's probably the biggest thing. People just don't understand that we can't reserve it for them here. I mean, they understand. It's not that they can't, but that's probably the biggest thing that we have here.
So
People coming in wanting a site for that night.
yeah, so tell us how they try to trick you into you reserving it for them when you can. Because they always ask you, they say, well, what spots are open?
Yeah, they'll especially the phone calls, and it's not a problem, like I said, but they want to. I've learned that I need to be right up front with them. Y'all, I can look this up for you and tell you what's available, but someone else may be reserving it while I'm looking it up for you. So it's just better if you go online and do it yourself initially. But sometimes they'll beg. My co-host has said they've offered money. I've had people just want to pay in cash. Just let me reserve it and I'll pay you cash, So
That's
I mean,
how
it's
it
not a
works.
racket, but it just doesn't work that way.
No. So if you want a campsite, and I think most campgrounds are going to that. If you want one, you got to get online, reserve it yourself, and then you're good to go.
But I am a planner. I just can't imagine, and I know all of y'all aren't planners, but I just can't imagine flying by the seat of my pants, hoping
Just
I can
hoping.
get a campsite that night. But it does happen. People do it.
Yeah,
but-
you just had one come in yesterday, wanting
Yes.
us, and but
Yes.
he had to put his he had to park his vehicle and get online, and that's another thing. Our service here is not that great.
You don't get very good cell service. We do have Wi-Fi, but you have to be pretty close to the booth
So
to get your Wi-Fi.
if you wait till you get here to reserve your site, you're gonna have difficulty getting online.
Well, we're kind of down in a hole here.
But that's a good thing, you know. You're out in the middle of nowhere. That's where you want to be when you're
Yeah,
camping.
I mean, a lake is lowest point. We're in a puddle.
Yes, we are. All right, now, so tell us a little bit about what the campground has to offer.
Well, this is a peaceful campground. They say it's the rowdiest campground of our bunch. So I think that bar is really low because this is a peaceful campground. But it's the lake. The lake draws people here. Center Hill Lake is a beauty.
So right here in front of us is your private, the campground specific boat ramp access to Center Hill Lake.
Yep. The day use have to use that side. I think he talked about that yesterday. But it's just campers over here.
Got a courtesy ramp out for the boats. But right now, at the moment, the lake level is down because it's going to winter pool.
Yep, they're lowering the winter pool.
So end of the season, lake is going down. Tell us a little bit about these sites here.
These are the most coveted sites because, well, I mean, look, it is. And you're right here at the private beach for the campground. And
right on the lake.
The only downside to these sites is you are in direct sunlight, but they're nice, level concrete pads. They're awesome. They're awesome.
And they're kind of close.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody wants to be close to the lake, so.
Right.
And when you're camping, you kind of need to get used to.
I mean, you're
socializing.
gonna have neighbors. You're gonna have neighbors. Yeah.
And there in front of us is the swim area. Nice big swim area. And the thing I love about the swim area is the swim area is concrete. It's not mud and rock. It's concrete. So that's very nice.
Now, when the lake level was up for the season, because we're in September, we're coming out of the season, but it was way up here in the sand. There is a sandy area right up here in the very top, and then all of your concrete. So
okay,
they make it convenient.
And let's take a quick look at the kids playground. Here's the little playground at Floating Mill Park. And the playground isn't that far from the beach area. Beautiful view of the lake. Okay. So I've absolutely fallen in love with this campground. It's just a beautiful campground, a lot to offer. Its own private access to the lake, its own private beach, a nice little playground. It's on a hillside, and all the sites are nice. All the sites are nice and level.
It's a tiered campground. You know.
So beautiful, wonderful campground. But are there any negatives?
It's a love-hate relationship. I can tell you that. Work camping kind of sucks the fun out of camping.
Yes, but are there any negatives to the campground?
It's small. It's a tiny campground. It was built years ago. It's a Corps of Engineer, and they came in a few years ago and took some of the bigger sites and put more sites in, so they're even smaller.
So, but what we really need to say is that it is not really set up for big rigs like what you see behind us.
We have maybe, I think it's 5 or 6 pull-through sites, and maybe, well, all of them would work for a great big rig, but it's really not designed for the great big rigs. But they make it work. Some of these, but I wouldn't come down here if I wasn't experienced in towing my big rig.
Right.
And the road coming down into the campground is a county road.
Very tight.
It is barely a 2-lane road. So I can't even imagine if 2 big rigs met each other on that road. So
other than that, it's not really set up for big rigs. I really can't think of any other negatives about the campground. Right. So this is a volunteer spot. But you do get a campsite for the season. But other than that, what are some of the benefits of volunteering?
Well, I've met some fantastic people this year. A lot of people down here are regulars. They know this campground better than I do. So hearing their insight on the campground was pretty awesome. And
even some of your co-workers are, you know, just great people.
Yes, I do have my co-host is great to work with, and the rangers and my maintenance guys. We couldn't make this place run without without them cooperating as well as they do. And stepping into a volunteer position, you got to start on the bottom rung. But stepping into a volunteer position could lead to a paid position, you know, when you bid a job.
Especially if you got good work ethics, and they notice that you got good work ethics. And believe me, if you have good work ethic, it's going to get noticed.
People notice.
Yeah, they do.
And if you don't, they notice that too. So if you volunteer, you got to make it happen.
So it can lead to a full-time paid position.
Yeah.
All right, now here's my final question. This is something that I think everybody will want to know, especially me. Will you be back next year?
Well,
tell us about the evolution of your thoughts.
Oh, so I think I came into the work camping spot, the volunteer spot, with too big of hearts. I thought everybody was going to be completely happy camping at the lake. The majority are. Things happen. I get it. A bad day on the road, whatever. But we are just volunteers here. There are people that come in and try to take advantage of the fact that we don't have a gate. So we really have to police that. I didn't know I was going to have to be such a policeman. So by about the second month in, I was hating it pretty bad down here.
And I think you decided this is not for you.
At that point, this is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I was expecting, but there's more good than bad.
And that's what you got to focus on.
And you have to change your way of thinking. You have to be stern. You can't just be soft and let everybody run over you. And most don't try. Some will. So I've
toughened up.
I've toughened up. Yes, my heart has hardened just a little bit being here. But I still have a good time down here. I do like it. I would like to come back. Go ahead.
So let's start for the very beginning. Early in your career here this season. This is your first season. But early, you was like, this is not for me.
No, it wasn't. And that's what I had to get a little...
You done made up your mind. This is not for you.
Yeah.
Till you toughened up, and then you're like, you became an expert at that point.
Yes.
You know, learning how to deal with people in abnormal situations, I think, is the toughest thing to overcome.
And a part of the abnormal situations was I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with it. But as the season goes on,
you learn to deal with all these problems.
You learn how to deal with the problems. You try to de-escalate any kind of situation, because people can get tore up over just the simplest things, and you want to make them comfortable, but yet also fix their problem. Help them try to find a solution.
So about 2 weeks ago, guys, I have not been able to spend any time down here at all, hardly.
Yeah.
I think about 3 weekends is about it. But 2 weeks ago, we spent some time down here, and I just fell in love with this place for some reason. And I went to her, I was like, look, if you want to do this again, I fully support it 100%, because I just love being here. I love the environment.
Well, I had a little bit of a medical thing, so I was out of here for like a month. And during that month's time, I loved it. I was like, I am not going back. I'm done. I'm done. Until that 2 weeks ago when we came back down here, and he's talking about how much he loves it, and you've got to get out of the booth. You've got to get out and you've got to enjoy your campground, and it makes the work camping experience so much better.
So she actually has been inquiring into a full-time paid position here. However, I
think it requires too much
of obligation,
dedicated time, and with the house, still trying to take care of the house in Manchester, it's just not going to work for us.
It requires her to be here 6 days a week, and that's just not enough time for her to spend at home to do the things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
if we didn't have a home, it'd be a totally different situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, as far as her volunteer job that she's got right now, who knows? Everything's up in the air right now. We have no clue.
I'm not sure how the going back to contracted host position will affect the park attendant position. So that's something I need to talk to my rangers about.
So at this moment, we have no clue what's in it, what our future holds here at the campground. But I am certain that if Melinda wants to play a part in it, she's got an opportunity somewhere at one of these Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, they'll put me somewhere for a volunteer spot. So that's always good to know when your rangers have faith in you.
So Melinda is a very new campground host. If you have any questions for a brand new campground host, however trivial you may think it is, ask it in the comments below. I'm sure Melinda would do her very best to help you decide if this is something for you.
Yeah, and I can put you in touch with any of my favorite rangers, and they can find a spot in Tennessee for you next season.
So we appreciate you watching our video to the very end. What is it?
Hang on.
Oh, it is blue herring. We appreciate you watching our video to the very end. It helps our channel out a lot.
A lot, yeah. Yeah, and if you found value in the video, give us a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button because we have some big news coming up.
See you in the next video.